Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, now my computer is has a mind of its own. Hold on. Okay, there we are. So, how's everybody today?
Wonderful.
So happy to see everyone. Also, hello to everyone watching us in their jammies with their coffee, and anyone who watches us during the week. So happy to have everyone here this morning. My name is Nancy Stokes, in case you don't know me. Oh, wait. I know everyone in the room, but for those of you out there, our special music today is William Penn. Thank you, William. Glad to have you. And our house musician, as usual, is the wonderful Rick Millan. So, if you please put your phones on silence, we would appreciate that. Oh, wait, I didn't. Okay. Now, let me. All right. Where is it? I tried to do it early and then go, well, what if somebody called me before I started? I would have missed it. Oh, no. It's just my screen time for the week. I didn't miss anything. I hate it when it says up 50% from last week. So I try to lower it for sure. So. Thank you, William. So let's get this party started with a meditation. I like to start us off with a little bit of a meditation to kind of ground us and get us in the mood and in the room. We want to be here now. So I'm going to suggest that you leave any concerns that you have, what you brought in with you. I would like you to just leave them under the chair. So just throw them under your chair right now. Just leave them there. If you choose to pick up those concerns when you leave today, that's fine, but you don't have to. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seat and close your eyes and drink in these words. Inner presence, great and mighty. Inner light that shines divinely. Inner life that lives completely. Inner joy that smiles serenely. Inner peace that flows so deeply. Inner calm, untroubled, happy. Inner love that gives so freely. Inner truth that never fails me. Inner power that holds securely. Inner eye that sees so clearly. Inner ear that hears God always. Inner voice that speaks supremely. Inner good that binds me to thee. Holy, 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 Lord God within me. And we all affirm together, and so it is. That is actually a Science of Mind meditation. I really like that one a lot. So I do have a Bible verse for you today. No stories of any churches down any streets anywhere. Okay. So, in John 16:24, it says, ask and you shall receive that your joy may be full. So, I'm going to say that means bless everything, curse nothing. Well, who goes around cursing things? We do all the time. Emmett Fox says that life is a reflex of mental states. As far as each one of us is concerned, the character that things will bear will be the character that we first impress upon them. If you bless a thing, it will bless you. If you curse it, it will curse you. Well, what is the practical application of this concept? Well, if you put a condemnation on anything, it will come back to bite you in the shorts, as they say. So if you bless a situation, it has no power to hurt you. And even if it's troublesome for a time, have faith, and it will gradually fade away as you continue to bless it, regardless of what you see out there in the outer appearance. It takes patience, persistence, and consistency. But if we consistently bless a troublesome situation, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it continues to look like, it will fade out. It has to. It is said that Adam gave, that first Adam in the Bible, the guy that lived in the garden, he got to name all the creatures. In the Bible, when you name something, it's actually talking about its name, its nature, and its character. So the tiger, Adam said, the tiger is ferocious, and the gazelle is kind and gentle. However, if you are an ant, you would say the anteater is ferocious, wouldn't you? It has to do with perspective. And to the ants, the tigers are gentle and kind. So it depends on who you are and how you are looking at your life. So practice giving good names to everything. Bless your body. Any organ that is troublesome, talk to it. Say that it is good. Bless your home, your business, your family, your seeming enemies, your town, your country, is all the leaders locally and also nationally. Bless the weather. Don't tell me that. Just do not tell me to bless the weather, especially during the summer. As anybody that knows me, that is my biggest thing. The heat is just, it hates me. So I'm trying to bless the weather. It is what it is. We're all grousing about how it's cold outside, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it is winter, and we live in Virginia. Right? So get over it. Wear a heavier coat. Or for me, in the summer, well, I'm going to learn this summer even more to bless the weather. Ask and receive that your joy may be full. So bless everything and curse nothing. So let's say our divine science statement of being. Let's say it together. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And I see that William is right there and ready to go.
Lord, help me be from day to day in such a forgetful way that even when I kneel to pray, my prayer shall be for others. Lord, yes, others. Let this my motto be. Help me to live for others, that I may live like thee. Help me in all the work I do. Be able to be sincere and true, and all that I may do for you must be done for others. Lord, yes, others. Let this my motto be. Help me to live for others, that I may live like thee. And when my work on earth is done, and my new life has begun. May I forget the crowd I've walked while thinking still of others, Lord, yes, others. And as my heart will be, help me to live for others, that I may live like thee. Lord, help me live from day to day, such as I forgive the way, that even when I kneel to pray, my prayer shall be for others, others, Lord, yes, others. Because my heart will be, help me to live for others, that I may be like thee.
Thank you, William. Okay, so now is the time in our service when we take a little time for ourselves to go within. A lot of us don't take the time during the week, our very busy week, to take that alone time, that quiet time with the God of our being. So I invite you to close your eyes and get comfortable. Take a cleansing breath. And know that the words I am speaking are truth for you and for all. Please take a moment to bring to mind someone who you think needs some extra prayers today. Keep them in your thoughts. I go within. I come to thee, O God, in quietness, with the deep faith that as I give myself completely to thee, that Spirit responds and does its mighty work in me, for me, and through me. I open the gates of my inmost being. I let the full flood of thy Spirit of wisdom and harmony pour through. Let thy love erase every fear and doubt. Love builds in the true and the good, because it is the harmonizing, cohesive power in creation. Thy Spirit of love dissolves all barriers. It is a mighty magnet to draw me to the good. I have faith in the unfailing power of divine love. That love flowing out through me permeates my environment and my world. This is my faith, that thy radiant Spirit is everywhere present and is always active for good, and only the good manifests. Let thy wisdom illumine me with the light of truth. I see the perfection of spirit only. I am established in understanding faith. Quietly, I wait. I expect thy works to follow after, for I wait with faith, believing. Let the good be done unto me in wonderful ways. Let there be made manifest an abundance of all good. I have faith that thy Spirit supplies every need. I give thanks that all people are illumined and lifted up, and that because I am a radiating center of divine activity, harmony shows forth in my environment. We know this to be true for all. Let us just sit with this for a moment. While we're in this quiet space, let us pray the Aramaic translation of the Lord's Prayer, which is on the TV screen. Together. Our Father, who is everywhere, your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive us our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song and praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Faith is a mind power. The universe is a spiritual system. I think we can all agree on that. We approach it through the mind. The mind enables us to know, to will, and to act. Faith has been recognized as a power throughout the ages. You've heard of faith in God, faith in one's fellow man, having faith in oneself, or faith in what one is doing. So why is this faith so powerful? When we activate faith, we set into operation a mind energy that is thousands of times more powerful than electricity. Our mind power of faith then generates an energy that contacts the universal energy and causes the circumstances, the events, the people to be created that make your goal of faith possible. It's like the universe rallies around you and makes that happen. Activated faith releases a vibration, because we are vibrational creatures, right? It releases a vibration that is endowed with a fantastic attracting power. Well, how do we release this electronic energy that's contained in our mind? Well, metaphysical writers all say through speaking words of faith. Your words of faith have life-giving power. Jesus emphasized the power of releasing faith through the spoken word when he promised, have faith in God. Whosoever, well, who is a whosoever? I'm a whosoever. You're a whosoever, right? That means anybody, everybody. Whosoever shall say to this mountain, say, there's a little word say, be taken up and cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart. That is the second piece of this. But shall believe that what he says comes to pass, he shall have it. Therefore I say unto you, all things whatsoever, well, what's a whatsoever? Anything you want, as long as it harms none, including yourself. If you pray and ask for it, and believe that you have received them, and you shall have them. Faith moves ideas in the mind and causes them to express themselves. To have faith in God is actually to have a daring conviction of goodness. That God is goodness and God is at work in your life. So here are some words of faith. I have faith that I am now in tune with the upward progressive movement of life. The mark of success is upon me. It's your affirmations. Those are words of faith. The Archbishop of Canterbury once said, it is a great mistake to suppose that God is only concerned with religion. Right? The same idea applies to faith, in that it does not only have to do with religious experiences. I assure you, it really does not. Many metaphysical writers have said that faith is a mind power and that we use it all the time. In Charles Fillmore's Revealing Word, he writes that hope is the expectation of good in the future, which means it is subject to time. Faith is the certain knowledge that our good is ours right now, is of God, therefore not subject to time and space. I really like that definition there. And when I say and is of God, I'm not talking about God within the context of religion. We know that there's several people in our church who go to if we don't see them here, sometimes they're working, but sometimes they are out in the church of the mountains. They are in the church of the James River. You know, they are out in nature. It is all God. Okay, if we did not have a certain amount of unconscious faith, we would never go anywhere. Right? Just think of the first time you were a little kid and you had to get on an escalator. I always thought it was going to suck me right in. Right? Until my mom said, no, you're fine. So we ride on elevators, escalators, trains, planes, automobiles, boats. And that shows a certain amount of unconscious faith that we're going to get on this mechanical conveyance and we're going to be just fine. That's in general. We believe that when we buy a plane ticket from D.C. to L.A., that we are indeed going to get on that plane. It's going to take us to L.A. Okay, so that's called blind faith, but you can't call that spiritual understanding. Understanding faith is a balance of intellectual and intuitive knowing from spirit, together with the acceptance of that on a feeling level. Spiritual understanding means that your belief in goodness is greater than any apparent manifestation of its opposite. Spiritual understanding also means that you have relieved your mind of the morbid sense that the will of God can be the will of suffering. For if there were a God of suffering, and we are eternal beings, then we should suffer for eternity. A suffering God is an impossibility. We suffer because we are not in communication with the affirmative side of the universe. The glass is always full. It's not half full. It's not sort of full. It's not empty. It's not a quarter. It is always full. But it takes our conscious belief in that and our faith in that. So let's talk about misplaced faith first. Someone once said that the entire world is suffering from one big fear. Can you guess what it is? And I don't mean spiders or public speaking. What is the one thing that the whole world is suffering from in terms of their one big fear? Can you guess? You're not even going to take a guess? Come on.
Enoughness.
Enoughness? Oh, that's a good one. But however, anybody else got a guess? It is the fear that God will not answer our prayers. And I think for most people that means I'm here, God's over there, way over there, somewhere up in the sky, right in the clouds. And that God way out there, I'm praying to that God, I'm begging for something, I really need it, and God's not going to give it to me. Well, what we say is it's not that God's giving you anything. Your relationship with God is not that He's a supplier. He or she is a supplier, or whatever you want to call God. The fear of lack is nothing more than the belief, that little tiny word belief, that God does not and will not supply whatever we need. How about fear? Fear of death. Isn't that the belief that the promises of eternity may not be true? The fear of loss of health, loss of friends, loss of property. All of those arrive from the belief that God is not all that we claim, which is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. So what is fear? Nothing less than the negative use of faith. Because it is what you believe. It is a belief in two powers instead of one. It is a belief that there can be a God opposed, there's a power opposed to God, whose influence and ability can bring us error right to our doors. Sick people have plenty of faith, but in the wrong thing. Whatever you give your attention to, you have faith in. Your attention is your faith. Whatever gets your attention gets your faith. Whatever you are deeply convinced about, you have faith in. Whatever you expect and prepare for, you have faith in. Now that was a mouthful. That was a lot. I'm going to give you an example. There was once a very healthy, robust man of 55 who often said, everybody in my family dies at 65. I lost my father, my mother, several cousins, an aunt. He was deeply convinced and was constantly repeating how dying at 65 runs in my family. It was firmly lodged in his mind. He gave his full attention to this belief. He had faith in it and he expected it. And lo and behold, after 10 years of describing exactly how his relatives died, this man who was robust at 55, 10 years later, he was dead at 65. And he died exactly in the manner that he kept describing, for it only took 10 years. It only took 10 years of his life to make that happen. That's not very long. When I teach my classes, a lot of times I say, well, if you find yourself thinking a thought, and you catch yourself thinking it, you should also think 5 years in the future and go, what would my life look like if I kept thinking this thought every day, constantly, and had faith in it for 5 years? What would my life look like? Well, Catherine Ponder said it only took this guy 10 years, and he was dead because of what he talked about all the time. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Your words of faith are always either creating or dissolving. It has to do with what do you have faith in, your disease or your health. Do you have faith that you're going to get the job, but you're never going to get a good job? Those kinds of things. It's usually one is usually the opposite of the other. Like when you speak words of faith to a paralyzed organ, it can be completely and totally restored. Yet the same power of faith has the equal ability and the authority to destroy that same organ if you talk bad to it or about it. In The Healing Secrets of the Ages by Catherine Ponder, she tells the story of a woman who kept attending healing lectures constantly. And she would always put her name in the prayer basket at church. Yet she remained sick. She always had one thing or another. It was discovered that this woman constantly spoke to others about her own ill health, and that she enjoyed listening to descriptions of ill health from her neurotic neighbor. She was always sick about something also. You could easily say that she kept herself completely immersed in the subject of her own ill health, and others too. Through her faith and attention to ill health, she kept it manifesting within herself. Her faith was an irresistible force for illness. Well, you might want to give some thought to that. Pay some attention to your life and see, what are you focusing on? What do you have your faith in? And you could even finish this sentence. My faith in blank is an irresistible force for, and see if what you want that's happening that you're focusing on is, do you want that thing? At the end of the sentence, is an irresistible force for sickness? Is it an irresistible force for happiness, for joy? Or is it for limitation? So it just means check what you're saying. Check what you're thinking. And hear this truth. All the prayers in the world cannot heal you when you still turn your attention to and accept ill health as necessary for you. Here's another one. All the prayers in the world cannot get you a job when you still turn your attention to and accept that you always are unsuccessful at everything you do. Your attention is your faith. Remind yourself often by decreeing and claiming, let there be light. Eric Butterworth would say, he would snap his fingers. I can't even snap them. That makes, a little noise. Yay! Wow, I usually can't do that. Eric Butterworth, when he would be working, sometimes his wife would hear him in the other room, and he'd be grousing or something to himself, and she'd say, Butterworth, turn on the light. She'd snap her fingers at him. They would kind of do that with each other to remind each other, turn on the light. There's always light. You just got to find it. So the thought of faith, whatever that thing is, molds the undifferentiated substance that's out there and brings into manifestation the thing which you have fashioned in your mind. So that's how faith brings to pass our desires. So in other words, when you use your imagination in strong faith, it will create for you out of the one substance, right? This is a differentiated substance. This is a differentiated substance. I am a differentiated substance. However, there is tons of substance out there that doesn't have any form yet. It's unlimited. So from our thoughts, from our ideas, through action and through our faith, we see the form. So it's the same thing we always talk about, from the invisible to the visible. Faith is the carrier of that in the middle there. So it is the carrier between the storehouse of spiritual ideas through the activity to the visible world. So faith is the connector between idea and form. And Jesus leaves us with the one little word to make it happen, and that's ask. Ask. The law must work in compliance with our demand. That is spiritual law. So the divine urge within us is God's way of telling us, push forward. Take that which is awaiting your demand. This is a very important point. If the good were not already ours in the invisible supply, it will be impossible for us to get it in any manner. It's there. It's waiting. But do we have conscious possession of it? The principle that governs our faith is when the one praying becomes completely convinced that their prayer will automatically be answered. Okay, so let's talk about someone's faith that healed him. So Catherine Ponder, again, as you can tell, I've been reading a lot of Catherine Ponder. She tells of a man who was declared completely incurable by his doctors. They told him that no one on earth could cure him of his ailment. See, he was in a lot of pain, and they said, no, you're going to die. You're dead. Forget it. We can't do anything. So, of course, he went to his pastor. And they would pray together, remembering James 5:15. The prayer of faith shall save him that is sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. So they would contemplate that together. And he would also take long walks in the park. Even though it was painful for him, he would go to the park and he would sit in nature. And while walking one day, he found a crumpled up piece of paper and he went over to pick it up. He was going to be a good citizen, throw it in the trash. And he noticed it had some words on it. So he uncrumpled the paper. And this is what he read. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth that is in me. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. Well, that was just what he needed to hear. It really sparked him up. It made him just feel like alive and full of joy. And so he began saying this prayer many times a day. And within 2 weeks, he noticed a marked difference in his pain level. And within 3 months, he was totally active again and lived another 30 years. So, his faith was not a miracle. What happened to this man was not a miracle. He changed his mind about his body. He changed his mind about what was going on. He did not listen to the doctors. He changed his mind and he kept it changed. That is not a miracle. That is spiritual law working exactly as it is meant to work. And we can all do exactly the same thing. So this is the law of mind that Jesus proclaimed. It is done unto you as you believe. As is even a smaller word than ask. As you believe. So there are lots of examples in the Bible, right? You've got Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Gideon, Samuel, all the prophets, and so many more who through their faith, they subdued kingdoms. They brought righteousness. They got promises. They stopped lions. They quenched the power of fire. They escaped the sword. And they raised the dead. All through faith. They embodied living faith in their consciousness. All right, so in order to have faith, you have to have the conviction that all is well. In order to keep your faith, you cannot allow anything to enter your thought that weakens that conviction that all is well. So what is the practical application of that in your life? Well, when someone says, how are you doing today? What's your first inclination? To list all the things not going right. It just happens. You don't even try. It just flows out of your mouth. So, yesterday Jan called me while she was driving. And she said, hey, how are you? I said, I'm good. I said, well, how are you doing? And she goes, I'm well. I said, okay, bye. Nothing else to say. I mean, it's like, that's great. Because what starts to happen after that? It deteriorates into something else. Or you don't even say, I'm fine. You go, well, and then brrr, right? It's just us. It's just human beings. It's just what we do. But I'm saying that instead of falling into that, you can say, oh, everything's great, thanks for asking. And that's not going to be a lie, because in truth, it is. Even if you walk in with a cane. Looks like William walked in with a cane this morning. But he is well. He is all right, because he has spiritual understanding. He knows. He's not going to stand up, go over there, and go on and on about his leg, about what, his hips, or what's happening with him, right? He knows. He knows. So, and it's not a lie to say you're well, because in truth you are. We are. And it is all up to us to actually be well. So by speaking these words of truth, which is, I'm well, thank you for asking, you are keeping your faith, because you are not diving down into all those troublesome problems going on that you're experiencing, and that now you're sharing with somebody. And let's face it, in society today, that's tough. That's actually hard, because we want to talk about the political arena right now. We want to talk about the weather. We want to talk about what's happening in California. We want to talk about what's happening on Capitol Hill. But in reality, we do not need to do that. We don't. We already did our duty, our citizen duty, right? We all voted when it's time to vote. There's nothing else to be done about it. And when we talk about it, it's like we're scratching an itch. What happens when you scratch an itch? It gets bloody, and it hurts. So let's not do that. Because that's really not keeping our faith in what we say we have faith in. Faith is a deep inner conviction. It's a state of certainty. It is a super assurance. It is truly a superpower. It should have its own cape and its own spandex outfit. Don't you think? And its own name. I mean, come on. That would be fabulous. So pure faith is a spiritual conviction. It is a mental attitude of being unafraid to believe that your prayers are answered and that you are not afraid to say, I know. It means that you have stopped contemplating the universe as opposed to itself. There's nothing in the universal order that denies the individual's good. Not one thing. So long as it does not contradict the general good. It does not contradict goodness itself. There's nothing in the universe that denies us the right to be happy. As long as our happiness does not deny or interfere with the general good, with the happiness of others. I believe that the key moral system of the neo-pagan Wiccan religion got it exactly right. Do what you will, harming none. That sounds a lot like what I just said, doesn't it? That your happiness will not be taken away if it does. If what you need to be happy doesn't hurt somebody else or yourself too. That's the other piece of it. You're not allowed to harm yourself either. The universe remains totally unlimited to us, though the whole world has suffered from this sense of limitation. In the late 1960s, when Catherine Ponder was publishing her book, The Healing Secrets of the Ages, there was an eminent scientist who said, there is only one basic quality that man must develop and exercise in order to tap the higher powers within himself. That basic quality simply is the ability to believe without doubt. He explained that when people are able to do this, that they enter into a state of consciousness where everything, all things are possible to that person. So I say science meets God, right? So this scientist is saying exactly what divine scientists and New Thought writers have been talking about for so long. So let us go about our daily lives with so much faith that we know that our good is right here, right now, entertaining no doubt or unbelief, knowing that God is good all the time. Let's go with him just a moment. The light of divine wisdom illumines me. I see the truth, and I have faith in God the good. I am steadfast in that faith. I do not waver, because I understand the truth of creation and my oneness with the presence of God. I hold my vision high. In that high vision, there is the assurance of the swift action of spirit. In quietness and confidence, I wait with expectancy to see the good made manifest in my life. And we all affirm together, and so it is. William.
Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna get through it together. We may not go far, but it sure doesn't stop. We're gonna go we are together. Wherever I go, I know he goes. Wherever I go, I know she goes. No fits, no fighting, no truth, no ego. We'll be goes together through thick and through thin, all out or all in. Whether we win, place or show, with you for me and me for you, we'll move through whatever we do together, wherever we go. You'll be smart. You'll be great. You're gonna have the world on the plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up roses. Clear the deck. Clear the floor. We got nothing to do but relax. Starting here, starting now, and everything is coming up roses. Here's your ending. Stand the world is here. This is our ending. This is just the beginning. Turns up, hit the lights. We've got nothing to hit but the eyes. Starting here, starting now. It was well, I can tell that luck is falling all about us done. Honey, everything's coming up roses for me and for you. Here's your ending. Turn the world on its ear, set it spinning. This will be our beginning. Curtains up, hit the lights. We've got nothing to hit but the lights. You'll be swell, you'll be grand. I can tell this way. Honey, everything's coming up roses for me and for you.
Now that's a full glass. That's another way to say it. Everything's coming up roses. That is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to to the door. Hi, we're not done. Come on now.
Come on in, it doesn't matter.
Yep, have a seat. Glad to see you. Come on.
We're almost
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now's the time that we have what we call blessing of the gifts. And the gifts, of course, we always accept moolah, right? But we have so many gifts. We have so many gifts that we're born with, so many gifts that we have cultivated through our lives that we can share. We can choose to share with our community, either the small community or the larger community. So we like to give thanks for all the gifts that are given. And so let's say that together. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as a source of all good, as a source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept God's will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God. I know a lot of you do the online thing. I do that. I donate online. It's so easy. And Laurel, it's so easy for Laurel at the end of the year for her to send us our giving statement. But if you would like to put a donation, give us a donation this morning, and there's a basket over there on that side. And we appreciate everything. So now Jan has a few announcements.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I called Nancy yesterday and we did have just that short conversation.
It was
But we had a much longer conversation after that. It was very funny. She said bye, and I said bye. But anyhow, she's right. We don't try to dwell on stuff like
Well, I used to do that with my friend Marty. She was my first spiritual teacher many years ago. And I'd call her, because we're practicing not talking about stuff.
right.
Negative stuff. And we do exactly that. And it was just kind of a fun
So
thing.
we try to talk about positive things. So I'm going to give you a positive thing because I'm kind of happy today. Well, I'm not happy all the time, but anyhow, I was going yesterday. My oldest niece is pregnant, and we found out that I'm going to have another niece. So I was very excited. That's what Nancy and I talked about going to the yesterday. So anyhow, so I'm very excited about that.
She'll be a great niece.
Great niece. Actually, I have 3 of those now.
Wow.
So anyhow,
Nice.
but anyhow, I'm excited about that one. So anyhow, the flowers today are sponsored by Amy Jo. She wants the congregation to take them, so feel free to take as many of them as you want. And if you want to sponsor flowers for a Sunday, please give Nancy $25 because she takes care of the flowers and does a wonderful job. So we appreciate her doing that and talking about the gifts that we have. That's a gift that she has that most of us do not have. So anyhow, so if you sponsor the flower calendar and the birthday cake calendar are in there on the snack table, so you can't miss it. If somebody's willing to sponsor flowers or do the birthday cake for a month, we would greatly appreciate it. So we're going to start collecting soup for seniors. They usually do it the first week in February. I think Martha reminded me of it Wednesday night. So next week we will have a box in here on the table. And with a list of other things, they collect stuff besides soup and crackers. So there'll be a list, but I think we'll do it through the first week in February. I think that's the date. But so we'll start collecting that now for the soup for seniors. Also, just remind people that we have coffee on Wednesday nights, starting at 6:30. Everybody is welcome, and you don't even have to drink coffee. You just want to come and we just have fun. So, and we're trying to get more people involved in coming to that. We've invited other people from the other churches, so hopefully it'll be social things so we can get everybody more familiar with everything. So, anyhow, and other than that, we started several years ago doing a walking group on Saturday mornings, and then COVID came along, and so we kind of stopped that. But even though Doug and Bob have continued doing that, so I'm thinking about restarting the walking group and doing it at maybe Black Dog Salvage or something. I'm thinking about that when we're going to start it. I'm going to invite the other churches to join us. So anyhow, I'll have more on that next week. So we'll see what's going on with that. And Lisa, would you want to give us an update on Marita?
Sure. Well, she asked Marita how to say if when anybody asked how she was doing, and so she's improving.
Hey, good choice of words.
Good choice.
I like it. All is in divine right order.
Absolutely. And if you want to give her a call, I'm sure she'd love to hear
Oh,
your
good.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you.
So yes,
Uplifting. Glass is full. Glass is full. I love it.
So we'll continue to keep her in prayer and keep her whatever she needs, that we'll be able to continue to do whatever she needs. So does anybody else have anything? Okay, then we will go next door and have coffee.
Well, not right now.
After we pray. Just wait another minute or so.
Okay, so at the end, we have been praying for like the whole planet. These are just some areas where there are lots of things going on that we will not dwell upon, but we'd like to give them a little extra love. And any other country or situation that you think, we're going to pray for America after this. We're going to do this prayer, and this is the unity prayer of protection. So as we say this, the U is all those countries and anybody else that you know in your life that needs a little extra today. So we're going to say this together. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. The mind of God guides you. The power of God abides in you. The strength of God renews you. Wherever you are, God is and all is well. That is fabulous, fabulous prayer. And we love to say it. And we thank Unity for putting it out there so we can all use it. So the next little piece we'd like to do is to pray for America, to pray for our own country, without focusing, of course, on the outer appearance of things going on, but to focus on what we know is the truth for all. And if you're not really quite sure how to do that, I have also added the metta prayer, which is a Buddhist prayer. And this is the way I pray for all. So if you would like to use this in your own prayerful time for just a minute or so, but just be thinking about our own country and the leaders in our country as we listen to beautiful Rick's music. Closing, infinite presence. As we go forth this day, we know that you are in every step we take, every thought we think, and every word we say. And so let us affirm together with enthusiasm, and so it is. So let's go in peace and make it a great day.